You don't expect a woman to talk. It's a norm of the society that all the men will do the talking.
Do you feel that there's too much pressure on the outside world telling Papua New Guinea to be a certain way?
As Papua New Guineans, we really need to see what is best for the nation. One fine day they will be educated, and then everybody will accept that the women can also do the talking.
Some people in Port Moresby believe that there's not as much gender equality in the highlands. Do you have anything to say to that?
Of course, I have a lot to talk about gender equity or gender equality. I personally perceive that gender equity is a problem in the highlands. All islands, I would put it that way, because our society and the norms that we believe in the highlands, we believe that men can have 2 to 3 wives, for example. But in the Western society, the women know their rights, so they can easily leave the men and go away. But in the islands, we believe that our forefathers have practiced that, and then, sometimes we see that women, they have certain roles to play, and the men have certain roles to play. But there's nothing to do with the gender issues. What I see is the roles played by men and women that actually cause the difference between genders. Let me give you an example. In the islands, the women look after pigs, but when they kill the pig, the decision is made by the men, and all women accept it. The women will not make the decision, the men makes the decision. But to look after the pigs, feed the pig daily, the men, they do gardening, the women do planting, they feed the pig. But when it comes to killing and making decision, is made by the men, and all women, they accept that. So nowadays, with the coming of Western influence, they say that women are not treated fairly. But you see that in our custom, when there is bride price ceremony, when there is death, you don't expect a woman to stand up and talk. It's the men that will do the talking. So you see, it's the role that men and women plays that cause a lot of confusion, also in the international community. And they believe that Papua New Guinea is not respecting women. We do respect women. But it's the role that men and women plays that creates a lot of complications. I mean, that's my perception. That's how I see it.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that there's natural roles for both men and women, and that there's often confusion because there's a mix of people wanting to play other roles, or how do you think the confusion comes into play?
The confusion comes in because, you see, with the coming of Western influence, or I will say with the continuous awareness on gender issues, now we believe that women can take the role that men do, especially in the formal education system. We have more women trained to be engineers. We have more women trained to be pilots. Papua New Guinea is yet to have a woman prime minister. Not yet. But we believe that one day it will happen. So you see, these are roles that traditionally, since independence, these are some of the roles that women do not do. And now more women are going in, and we encourage more women to go. But then back to the village setting. When you have a death and when people are talking, you don't expect a woman to talk. It's a norm of the society that all the men will do the talking. But, it will take some time for society to accept that women can also do the talking. So it's like we are on the crossroad between the different roles played in the traditional society, and then with the coming of modern influence and the modern curriculum that is taught in schools, where women can be given a fair and equal opportunity. And we try to educate them. But the challenge here is that we believe that one fine day they will be educated, and then everybody will accept that the women can also do the talking when we have certain issues, and women can be prime ministers. So you see, this is the challenge that we have.
It's a very unique challenge because there's so much diversity in the traditional realm of just the different tribes and cultures that are there, and then there's the push of modernization, and mixing the two is quite challenging. Do you feel that there's too much pressure on the outside world telling Papua New Guinea to be a certain way?
I see that we really need to, as Papua New Guineans, we really need to see what is best for the nation. We have to, because we don't just have to accept all the Western influences in. If it is destroying our culture and the way we live, then we need to leave out some and then accept some that can be meaningful to us. We can't just go and then accept all the Western influences if we believe that this is not going to help Papua New Guinea. Papua New Guinea, as a sovereign nation, will need to protect its sovereignty, and also with the diverse culture, it has to protect that. Let me give you an example. With the coming of cash crop and our food crops, actually cause a lot of confusion, and many people have never perceived that. And now that I am being interviewed, I have the pleasure to make this known. We in the islands we have coffee as the main cash crop. Okay, the main food crop is cocoa. But when we look at who is actually growing the coffee and cocoa, is both the men and women. Okay, the men will have to cut the grass and then dig the drain, and the woman will do the planting, and the woman will do the weeding for the coffee. But you see, actually, if you walk past by and you see a coffee garden and a cocoa garden, preferred by both, preferred by this couple, and if you ask them whose coffee garden is that, and to your surprise, you will realize that it's not a woman. Let's say if the woman is Mary and the man is John, they will say this coffee garden is not for Mary but for John. But if you see the cocoa garden and you ask this person, whose cocoa garden is that? They will not say John, they will say Mary. So you see, with the coming of cash crop, basically, and with food crops, it also has a big challenge in the lives of Papua New Guineans. Actually, both plant coffee and cocoa. But when it comes to food crop and cash crop, they perceive that the cash crop is for the man and the food crop is for the woman. It's a sad scenario.
Even if they're both owned by the woman?
Even if they both own. The general perception of the people, even the educated people, to your surprise, you will realize that they'll say, this coffee garden is for John. But actually, Mary is doing the weeding for the coffee garden. The cocoa garden is for Mary. But John is actually doing the drain, but they will not call John's name. They will call Mary's name. Like I say, gender issue has a lot to be talked about than media propagandas and all those, because it boils down to our duties back at home and the job that men plays, women plays, together with the diverse culture we have. It's very challenging issue to talk about.
Do you think that it'll be solved within your generation?
That's my dream. I'm also a gender advocate. I really want to see many women taking the role of men, but it's very challenging. With my generation, me as a teacher, I will contribute in my capacity. But the biggest challenge is, in Papua New Guinea, you don't expect everybody to go to school. It's so isolated. So some people go to school, they can address and they can learn about the importance of gender. Others cannot. So I think we have a long way to go in terms of addressing this issue.
What do you think is the biggest challenge right now?
The biggest challenge right now is everybody should go to school and get employed. Whether it be formal and unemployed, informal, they have to be employed and they must be universal basic graduation. I believe that every Papua New Guinean citizen, if they go to grade 12 level, and if this subject that we are discussing is taught as a curriculum, then people should understand. Only then I think we can have this issue addressed. Otherwise, we have a long way to go.
It's really, really cool to hear, because it's a push for monetization while at the same time maintaining specific traditional values like singing, for example, or respecting spirits that aren't just God. It's ones that exist within the waterfalls or the grass or the crops everywhere, and so it's a blend of the two in order to make a unique Papua New Guinean society.